DC has been cooking so much, I almost forgot about Spider-Man and Wolverine. The newest issue is now out, and for everyone keeping up, see in the last issue, Spider-Man and Wolverine were sent to this random universe by this universe's Reed Richards, and it was revealed that he's using these two to get revenge on Arachnix, a character who's clearly a mix of the both of them, having both of their abilities, and a psychopath. He murdered Reed's wife, and it turns out in this universe, Reed's wife was Mariko, someone that Wolverine is deeply in love with in his own universe. So he took this personally. So although he wanted nothing to do with this little revenge plot, now he wants Arachnix dead too. And Peter is just along for the ride. And the last issue ended with them finally confronting Arachnix, only to find out he's far more powerful than they thought. And on top of that, he has killed a lot of Spider-Men and a lot of Wolverines, which made it look like Reed has been sending a lot of different versions of these two to their deaths to try and get Arachnix killed, sacrificing innocent heroes for his own revenge. So now it's time to find out where all this leads. What will the heroes do about Arachnix, and more importantly, how the hell are they going to get back home? Let's get into it. And we start with a flashback. See, back on Earth 4587, the Earth that the heroes have been sent to, we got Reed and Mariko kissing with Peter Logan in the back. That is so lazy that he is the combination of the two and his name is Peter Logan. But anyway, let's get into the flashback. As Reed writes in his private journal, "If I'm being honest, I barely paid him any attention. Peter Logan was a low-level employee at Yashida Applied Sciences, and I was preoccupied by its beguiling CEO, Mariko Yashida. I didn't see his obsession with her, how he coveted the love of my life from afar. Nor was I aware that an irradiated spider had escaped its holding pen. What happened next changed everything." So we see Arachnix was super in love with Mariko far before he got these abilities. This is essentially his origin. As we get back to the present and we see our current Wolverine and Spider-Man doing their best to do anything against Arachnix, but he's too fast and too strong. As he says, that stupid fuck Richards, he just keeps trying and trying and trying. Literally the definition of insanity, but killing you two over and over and over again is the definition of, well, fun. As we see Wolverine cut his arm right off, but none of it matters because like we learned in the last issue, this dude is made completely of organic webbing. And after what Arachnix did to Mariko, Logan wants nothing more but to kill this guy. But Arachnix tells him, "It's adorable you think you actually can." And he's right, I don't know how you're gonna kill someone completely made of webbing, besides actually completely destroying his body, and these two don't seem strong enough to do that. As he continues to overpower them, throwing Wolverine around, webbing up Spider-Man and throwing him through stuff, they can't really do anything. But we see something insane. When Wolverine is thrown through one of these walls, inside are a bunch of trophies from other heroes. See, Reed told us in the previous issue, this world is full of villains, there are no heroes. And at first I figured maybe this is just how the world was, but with these different trophies, it looks like maybe the villains simply won, which is a much darker ending than I had anticipated. And as we see Arachnix about to obliterate Spider-Man, Wolverine jumps in with one of these trophies that Arachnix has, as he completely engulfs the dude in a laser beam. But before he can shoot again, the entire sewer system falls on all of them and the fight ends. And I guess maybe this counts as a win. I really don't think they were gonna beat this guy. But either way, it's time to confront Reed Richards. Like we figured out in the last issue, it looks like he's been sending different versions of these two to their deaths, all to be killed by Arachnix, and they're obviously not okay with this. And Reed tries to deny that's what he was doing, but it doesn't matter. Wolverine now wants to go home. He's out of this. But conveniently, Reed says bringing them here was easy. Sending them back is gonna be more difficult, which pisses Logan off and he leaves. And although Peter is also pretty angry, he stays a little longer to have a conversation, and this is where we get a pretty crazy reveal. See, Reed says he's been searching for a specific kind of Wolverine and a specific kind of Spider-Man. And of all the Spider-Man he's encountered, the one thing they share is a sense of responsibility. But what's different about our Peter is he's the only one with a spider sense, which I find pretty crazy because in my opinion, Peter absolutely sucks without his spider sense. It kinda makes sense how Arachnix was able to completely obliterate so many different Spider-Men. Unless he's got some like Batman level training, he needs that spider sense. But more importantly, this is the only Wolverine he's met with an adamantium skeleton. And now it makes sense when you look back on the previous issue where we saw Arachnix kill a version of Peter and Wolverine. Why it was so easy for him, why he's been killing so many of them. He hasn't fought a Peter with a spider sense, and he hasn't fought a Wolverine with an adamantium skeleton. Hell, we saw him behead a different version of Wolverine pretty easily, now we know why. And now that Peter understands that after the multitudes of them have been murdered by Arachnix, them two specifically are special, he's starting to have an idea and he wants to know where the Revengers are. And after formulating this plan, he goes to find where Wolverine went. He knows they need to have a conversation because all of this going on because of Mariko is really bothering stopping him. He's thinking of his own Mariko back in his own world, and the fact that although she's alive now, he hasn't gone to see her. And more importantly, she hasn't gone to see him. He feels bad for causing her nothing but pain. On top of all of this, he sees Arachnix and he knows back in his day, he used to be just like this. But it didn't matter. Mariko saw right through that. As Wolverine says, she saw through the beast to my soul, Pete. This whole thing has Wolverine reflecting on what he's lost and what he used to be. And Peter tells him if he really wants to speak to Mariko, at the end of the day, he just needs to go apologize. He needs to speak from the heart. But before we can get to any of this, they need to find a way home and they need to defeat the Revengers. And Peter lets him know the way he thinks it's not easy. With power, there must also come responsibility. And when you're responsible for everything, you just feel guilty all the time. Which sounds pretty terrible to Wolverine, but Peter lets him know that's what all the quips and jokes are for. But the truth is, it's that guilt that drives me to make the world, even a parallel universe one, a better place, as he then begins to explain his plan. And this all stems from the fact that Arachnix doesn't have a spider sense, which I find crazy because he was beating the shit out of these two. But either way, because he doesn't have one, he can be distracted. So Peter and Wolverine are about to bring the fight to his teammates because he'll be so delighted to help them. He'll be preoccupied with the idea that he can kill more Spider-Men and Wolverines, and with that, Reed can do the real plan. Because after sacrificing so many versions of these two, he has finally developed a new technology that will finally incapacitate Arachnix. And as they arrive here at Latveria, Peter's spider sense goes off, and they're attacked by Hulk, Panther. Now in the previous issue, I was trying to figure out if that was Hulk and someone else, and with that stupid mask on Hulk's face, I was almost certain it was Black Panther. So we see he's the gamma irradiated hero of Wakanda. And honestly, mixing anyone with the Hulk is OP. But it doesn't stop there. They don't even get a second to recover, because the minute they look back, they're being attacked by the other members of the Revengers. But once they're finally able to gather their bearings, even while being attacked, Logan lets him know he's not impressed. As Peter gets attacked from the back, maybe Wolverine should have kept this to himself. I knew this woman looked like She-Hulk, but I didn't know who she was fused with. Now we know. It's She-Hulk fused with Psylocke, as she hits Peter with a mental attack going right through his head. And now we get a full spread of this weird fusion team. Namthor, who is clearly Namor and Thor, he's even got the pointy ears. Asgardian, King of Atlantis, I don't know how that works. Psy-Hulk, Gamma-powered Psychic, very obviously She-Hulk and Psylocke. Ultron Fist, cybernetic wielder of the Iron Fist. What a combination. We know Arachnix is the Spider-Man Wolverine combo, and we just saw Hulk Panther attack these two. Boy, these combinations are crazy, and realistically, Wolverine and Spider-Man should get vaporized by this team. And as Hulk Panther attacks them, it's got me wondering, what the hell does Black Panther even add to the Hulk that really matters, that would truly make a difference? The Hulk alone is one of the most overpowered comic book characters ever. And Peter lets Logan know, in my defense, I didn't expect this guy when I came up with my plan. Now, although I said these two should be instantly vaporized by this kind of team, they're actually holding their own. I don't know, maybe Wolverine and Spider-Man upscale. And this was the plan. Now Reed is far away with his sniper, waiting for Arachnix to show up so they can incapacitate him. But for some reason, Arachnix hasn't shown up yet. And once he's trying to figure out where he is, we see webs engulfing Reed's face. He's fighting for breath, he can't, and passes out. And eventually, he's killed by Arachnix. Just like that. Reed is murdered. And with that, Arachnix makes his presence known. He has finally killed Reed Richards. He killed Mariko, he killed Reed, he's good on revenge. And on top of that, by killing Reed, he has stranded these two. Now they can't get back home. They're completely alone, no help from the other heroes, and they're surrounded by a very overpowered team. And this, unfortunately, is where the issue ends. And I'm honestly pretty excited to see how the hell they get out of this one, because it honestly seems like it's GG's. But either way, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will catch you on the next one.